With New York City beginning phase 1 of reopening, the MTA has made preparations to get New Yorkers up and moving. It is the lifeline of New York City, right? So joining us to share more of the MTA's plan is the interim president of New York City Transit Authority, Sarah Feinberg. Good morning to you, Sarah. Thank you for joining us once again. We've been chatting with you every step of the way here, and here we are on day 1. You're in Queens this morning, right? So how many more people are you actually expecting?
We made it.
I know. How many people are you expecting to ride the trains and buses this morning?
A little bit unclear. We'll know more later today, and we'll know a lot about today, tomorrow when we get the numbers. But somewhere between maybe 200,000 and 300,000 more people expected. We'll see. I mean, look, to be honest, ridership has been ticking up this entire time. Since the height of the pandemic until now, ridership's been growing pretty steadily. We're at about Friday, we were at about 1.5 million riders. So we've been on a steady increase.
So I see everybody is mandated to wear a mask to be on board a train, right? And it seems like everybody behind you coming and going is wearing those masks. So what will you do for overcrowding on the trains? I know there's markings on the platforms, but it is really tough to stay socially distant on board a train or a bus.
Well, you're exactly right about mask compliance. So first of all, I want to say good job to everyone I've seen this morning. I've been out since about 5:30. And almost everyone I've seen is wearing a mask. And so that kind of mask compliance is really important, and it's just gratifying because that's what needs to happen. So look, I mean, the platforms can get crowded, the cars can get crowded. This is New York City. We're used to this at this point, right? And so what you should do is just make sure you're vigilant about keeping your mask on and put as much distance between you and the next person as possible. If 6 feet is possible, great. 3 feet is possible, great. There are going to be some cars, some trains during rush hour today where none of that is possible. So be vigilant about your mask and go about your business. And the number of people we're seeing in the system with masks is going to mean that there's some herd protection there.
Right. And so we understand that service is back to normal, with the exception, of course, of the overnight cleaning and disinfecting, which we'll get to in a second. But if, and I don't mean to hammer the issue, but if a train is too crowded, right, where you are literally arm in arm with the person next to you, is somebody from MTA there telling people, okay, you know what, wait for the next train, we're not going to allow anybody in this one just yet?
Look, we do. We have our platform controllers are out. We've got, the MTA police are out, NYPD are out, our own personnel are out, and so you may well see those folks on platforms and in stations saying, move to a part of the platform that's less crowded, move to a car that's less crowded. We did that during the pandemic, and we're doing it now. But I also think as many days into this we are, I think this is our 100th day. Yeah. People also know what they're doing. They're making good decisions. They're wearing their mask. They're boarding a car that's less crowded. They're making their own space on the car.
Like I've always said this entire time, it's up to the individuals, right? It's up to us to be responsible as we head out the door. I want to touch upon the cleaning and the disinfecting. How long do you think that will last moving forward before we can start to see overnight service restored as well?
Look, we're at least going to go through the pandemic. When we are able to surge into the system at night, clean everything with a huge number of cleaners and sort of have the system to ourselves without any riders there, we make an enormous amount of progress. So look, we are now disinfecting and cleaning stations twice every day. We're cleaning and disinfecting every car that's in service 5, 6, 7 times a day. So that's a really important time for us overnight to be able to surge into this system.
I know you say when the pandemic is over, but I don't know if anybody actually knows that date, right? And so it's tough to say for those overnight workers who might need to ride the train that there's no end in sight, but I understand the importance of it, so it's a double-edged sword, right?
Well, look, no, I totally agree with you. For those overnight workers, we have enhanced bus service as much as we possibly can, and we can add more if necessary. And we're also changing our routes a little bit overnight to make sure that our buses are serving as many people as possible. We also have our essential connector service, where if you have a really long commute on the bus or 2 or 3 transfers, you can use our essential connector service to get a car there. But look, ultimately, we're seeing a pretty small number of people who are in those shoes. Most people are using the buses, and so we're gratified that we're able to serve them.
So you're distributing 2 million masks out there on the subway platforms. You also have this 13-point action plan for the riders, but there's also a lot of your employees who contacted COVID-19, right? And our thoughts are with those folks. I'm glad to see so many of them are back to work. What are your safety protocols to keep your employees safe as well?
Yeah, it's a great question. So first of all, unbelievably, at this point, more than 9,000 MTA workers have come back to work. So they were either out sick, out on quarantine, out with an exposure to COVID, and they've now come back. So that's really wonderful news. Again, though, I think MTA paid a higher price in this pandemic than so many. It has been a struggle since the very beginning, and so we're grateful that so many people are better and back to work. But in terms of protecting our employees, lots of PPE, lots of masks, lots of face shields, gloves, sanitizer, all of the cleanings that we're doing in the system and on those cars every day, we're doing it for our workforce too, right? It's not just about riders, it's about keeping our workers safe as well.
Hey,
One thing before I lose you that I want to tell you, we have hand sanitizer in every station, masks in every station. If you forget your mask, go to a station booth and get an extra one.
That is great information. You know, there's something just really nice to see people once again on the trains behind you. You know, even though everybody's wearing a mask, that's the new reality. But thank you for what you're doing and keeping New York City up and running. You know, New York City Transit is a lifeline, and I always appreciate you making the time for us.
Thank you. It's my best day of the year. People are back.
There you go. Sarah Feinberg, thank you very much.